the very beginning of Braid was when I got in contact with Roy, who was our first drummer, through the mail, through just an ad I placed in Maximum Rock and Roll, and met him when I went to Champaign for school, and hung out with him and started to become friends with him. He had just the craziest, wildest style. I mean, he just paid so much attention to every little thing, you know, like whether it was a cymbal, you know, a little cymbal hit, or a little drum thing here, or like kind of, you know, throwing a wrench in this one normal part to make it, you know, interesting for him to play. And I think that really helped mold the kind of angular sound that we were, that became our sound. When he, you know, he couldn't play in the band anymore, it was kind of a tough, it was tough because we weren't sure if we were going to find a drummer that would be able to kind of match his intensity, and especially match his drumming for the songs that he wrote and that we still wanted to play.
I had some pretty big shoes to fill. You know, Roy, the old drummer, was incredible, so I had to, you know, step up and kind of bring a little bit of my own to it as well. So, I mean, I felt the pressure. When I first joined the band, I was just kind of like, you know, I had like big eyes, and I was just kind of watching everybody, and you know, because they had everything. They had already been a band for 3 years before I joined, and then I come in, and I was just excited, and I was young, and it didn't matter, you know, it didn't matter how much money we made. We were just having so much fun.
Damon, when he entered the band, he was definitely the backbone for a while, because we were in dire need of some fresh blood and a new face in the band to make things fun again. He was a good staple at that point when he entered the band.
Todd's role in the band, Todd's character in Braid, he was definitely the dad of the band. When I joined, he actually did all the booking. He booked all the tours himself. He did all the label stuff. He dealt with polyvinyl, and you know, he released 7-inch on Grand Theft Auto, so he was definitely in control.
Todd was the older dude in the band who ran a lot of the business aspects of the band. He put all his, you know, credit on the line. He was the one who bought the van. He was the one whose dad fixed the van and got someone to fix it. They put a new transmission in it. He was the one who always took care of all the business.
The other guys in the band probably see me as the jerk, because I was the guy that I did early on in Braid. Me and Bob booked a lot of the first tours. I took over. I booked all the tours up until about 1998, early 98, and I was the guy that got everybody up in the morning. I was the guy that made sure we got to the shows on time, so I was the asshole.
Todd, he just kind of kept us all in check, and I think we needed that, or else we would have spun wildly out of control. If, for instance, Chris and I were in charge of everything, we'd probably kill each other. But Todd kind of kept us all in check, because we're kind of, each one of us, it has just this wildly different personality.
Bob's a very intelligent man. He moves really fast. He's got a lot of ideas, and they come quickly, and he brings them to the surface quickly.
I think it was probably my idea to do an album where each letter of the alphabet was represented by one of the songs, which in retrospect, probably not a good idea.
Bob and I moved in together. We were roommates in college. He and I were really close, really cool, like we got along super well.
Chris was always like I think he was the jokester of the band, always kept us laughing, and still does. Actually, I always love hanging out with him, because I know I'm gonna wake up the next morning and be hurting because I was laughing so hard hanging out with him. And so I mean, it was a really great counterpoint to Todd, who's very funny in his own right, but kind of in a different way.
Bob is definitely the list maker. He's the guy that writes everything down, keeps a full report on everything. He's the guy that just documents everything. He's the quiet one too. He's also the moody one. Chris was the nuisance, narcoleptic, troublemaker. He was the guy that insisted on sitting in the shotgun position in the van because it was the only seat other than the driver that had a seat belt because he was afraid of not being buckled up. That was always a funny thing to deal with, so we'd just play pranks on him all day and keep him awake, and he would just be a mess by midday.
They'd get me really drunk because I was 18 and the young person in the band, and tell me funny things like Fugazi broke up or Jawbreaker broke up or whatever to make me get upset, and they did make me cry more than once. The first time was Fugazi and the second time was Jawbreaker.
From the day we met Chris, I mean, we met him and we asked him to be in the band the day we met him. I mean, he has that kind of just magnetic personality.
Chris is the funniest. He invented his own words. He threw a pee bottle out the van and he undid the cap a little bit so that it would explode really well. But as he threw it, the cap came off and it got all over him. And he just stuff like that. I mean, he was pretty pissed, but we all could laugh about it. And he was really fun. But yet at the same time, he was, serious too. Like when it came to playing the songs, it wasn't a joke.
His presence in the band really kind of energized my playing and made it a lot better. Or maybe it was just that because there were two of us, it sounded a little better. It was really great bringing him in to sing because he has a really great, unique voice. He wrote a lot. He had a lot of great lyric ideas, and I don't know. We both worked well off each other in that sense.
I can remember a time when Bob and I said, we should never stop playing with each other ever because we do it so well. And we did do it really well.